Imagine yourself as a kid in the year of 2001, a time where a kid can just turn on their PlayStation, put on some Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 or some GTA 3 and live out their most mischievous dreams. I mean, in all actuality, you could just get on a skateboard in real life, but I was a fat kid. Wasn't the best at that. Or you can grab your CD player and throw on the Marshall Mathers LP so you could learn some new cuss words and recite them to your friends at recess on the school playground and get in trouble for it. Or you could just tell them jokes that you heard in movies such as How High or Scary Movie 2, which also debuted this year. Basically what I'm saying is the year 2001 was very eventful for media and for other things. At some point, some planes did an oopsie into some buildings or something. But we're not here to talk about that. Because another thing you could have done in the year that made country music relevant again through extreme fear of foreigners, you could have convinced your mom to take you down to the local comic book shop where you could have picked yourself up a copy of The Brotherhood. Revolution, not evolution. The best way to describe this comic book is it's like American Pie meets Violent Mutant Revolution. As it's kind of a coming of age story, the main character is dealing with being a average depiction of a teenage boy in the early 2000s, and society is crumbling with the persecution of mutants and people who carry the X gene. So as the peace and coexistence in society is snapping, homie's just mad he ain't got no cheeks clapping. The Brotherhood was a 9-issue comic that was released by Marvel in the year of 2001, ending in 2002. It got cut short for some various reasons that I'll get into in a little bit. And as far as my knowledge goes, it takes place in Earth 616, which is the main Marvel universe, if I'm correct. But the gist of the Brotherhood is it is a perfect timepiece that encapsulates all of the aforementioned media and just kind of the social norm for content back then, which is why it's going to be the subject of today's video. So buckle up, nerds, as we deal with our changing bodies and raging hormones before we go outside with picket signs that read "Down with the oppression" and with our erections. Because we're getting into the Brotherhood today. Some quick notes on this story. It was written by Howard Mackey, who went under the alias of X around the time of its publication. Kind of like an experiment thing that he was doing to see if a story could make it on its own merit and not have a notable writer attached to it. But that all got cut short because it being about a terrorist organization of sorts, the people working on it called it quits after 9 issues and didn't continue the series because of the aforementioned plane oopsies that happened. That, led to a couple decades of some real shit, man. It wasn't until 2008 when Howard Mackey came out and said, "Yo, I wrote that shit." That's me right there. Anyway, that was just some fun facts about the Brotherhood. Now let's get into the story. So it opens in Moscow, and it has some narration by the main character, Mikey Asher, who we will meet in a minute because all the artwork is showing someone else entirely in a completely different location. The artwork shows a different mutant. His name is Oswald. He is walking into a Russian disco looking like he's about to commit some nefarious acts, which is saying something because the idea to my little American brain of a Russian disco sounds nefarious as fuck, my guys. Now, I'm not sure if Mikey's narration is supposed to create some sort of juxtaposition towards everything going on, or if they were serious about kind of what he's saying and how he's saying it, but he just has like this angsty little monologue about it not fitting in and everything's changing around. His body's changing. He's sprouting hair out of his... Yeah. One of my favorite little quotes from him is like, "Been picked on my whole life. It bottomed out when I started sprouting hair out of various parts of my body. Under the best circumstances, puberty sucks." Which I get. This is a mutant coming of age story. Mikey doesn't know he has the X gene yet, but he has the X gene. So it's a play. It's a play of him, having to deal with all of these things. But I do like to imagine that when we all go through puberty, it's like a fucking mutant transformation. And you're just like...
Since the discovery of their existence, mutants have been regarded with fear, suspicion, often hatred.
The fuck is that? Anyway, aside from Mikey's narration, Oswald is inside of the disco. He fucking blows the shit up and everybody's probably dead inside. He's standing amongst the ruins and flame and, decrepit building. I can see why this shit didn't age well back then. And then we get introduced to 2 different characters. One's name is Orwell, the other one's name is Hoffman. These are two leaders of the Brotherhood, the little revolution group that Mikey's gonna be involved with and are fighting against the oppression towards mutants. We'll get into all that later. So after that little panic at the disco, Oswald is standing amongst the rubble and fire, and he's like, Hoffman, are you proud of me, Hoffman? He kind of comes across as a kid who's dying so hard for a father figure that like the older kids in the neighborhood can get him to do dumb shit where they just kind of approach you like, hey homie, bet you won't kick over that mailbox over there. And then the dumbass little kid is like, I bet I will. I bet I'll kick it over right now. And then, you know, because he has no parental guidance, probably doesn't have a great life after that. So Orwell is communicating with Hoffman fucking telepathically, telekinetically, whatever, using the fucking mind telephone to tell him like, oh, Oswald did a good job, yo. He just blew up those normies, or norms as they call them. They refer to, you know, us people without the X gene as norms. But he's telling him like, yo, Oswald did a good job. He sent those disco goers from Funky Town straight to hell. So he's part of us now. He's a brother, and they call each other brother. We then cut to Brooklyn, where now we're gonna finally get introduced to the main character. His name is Mikey Asher. So we get introduced to this greasy fucking slacker looking I hate the world teenager in the most 2000s room you can imagine. The most early 2000s room. Homie has pictures of babes and bikinis and boobs all across his walls, except for one generic looking poster that just says skate and has like this outline of a bad pencil drawing of a guy skateboarding. It looks like something an out of touch grandma would get her 13-year-old kid who likes to skate for Christmas from Hobby Lobby or some shit, and he would just be mad as fuck that they're celebrating Christmas and just not getting like Robux and being told to fuck off to his room for the rest of the day. Get introduced to Mikey. He's standing in front of this mirror that has like the Time magazine outline on it, so when you're looking into it, it looks like you're on the cover. That's actually kind of fucking sick, if I'm being honest. So Mikey is standing there just talking to himself about how bad he just wants to get some messy mattress macaroni stirring going on, and that is his main focal point. How every teenage boy was written in the early 2000s is just like, you need to put your genitals somewhere or you're gonna die a dumb, lonely virgin, and everyone's gonna hate you. Because I don't know, that was the stereotype back then, so fucking can't hold that against them. So him talking to himself about his American Pie ass plight for pelvic mining gets interrupted when his dad knocks at the door, and he's like, yo, little horny bastard, it's time for breakfast. Get downstairs. Your mom cooked up some breakfast. So before he leaves his room, he looks at a poster of a woman's face and he's like, God, I'm gonna explode if I don't do this. Which is crazy because homie is so down bad that he has all these pictures of like women in bikinis all across his room, but he sees a woman's face and homie's about to blow up like the Challenger. That's another thing about the story. So every time that he's talking about how bad he just wants to fuck something, he refers to it as it's so bad he's gonna explode. Fatality. You know, like the blue balls are just gonna fucking open up and he's just gonna combust. Have doctors rushing in, just like, doctor, what seems to be the issue? Well, this boy's gonna explode if he doesn't get some action real quick. I'm gonna need 20 cc's of Vaseline and some gloves. We're gonna take care of this for this young man. So he cuts downstairs where Mikey eventually gets over fucking just monologuing to himself about getting laid. So now he's downstairs sitting around the breakfast table with his mom and dad. Dad's reading a newspaper. Mikey's just fucking staring at this woman on the back of the newspaper that the dad's reading. And that's not the important part of this. The important part is there's actually a newscast going on about the X gene and how they're going to start blood testing people and making sure that people with the X gene can't reproduce. And if they do, you know, they're going to be on a list, so you have to know who you're getting involved with. They're going to start tracking these people. Real fucking keep those guys away from our daughters type shit. Fox News ass broadcast is going on about this, how it's a great thing. These people are fucking dangerous. They're going to start weeding out the weak because their fucking sperm and egg aren't as superior as fucking mutants and carriers of the X gene. So that is the fucking white American dream, you know? So the bullshit bank commercial looking parents,
that's what you look like. Like you're a bullshit bank commercial couple.
Are talking about everything. The mom doesn't seem like she's like too in favor of having to force people with the X gene to fucking be on a list and register themselves and not be allowed to procreate the way that a norm would. But the dad is all in favor of this. This is the most unlikable asshole you can imagine. He would definitely be the type that you would see going viral on TikTok because he freaked out at a young barista because she said happy holidays. Like the type of motherfucker to drive a Ford F-150 to compensate for the fact they only got a 2 inches of rage packing in their trousers. Anyway, so they're sitting around, they're having this conversation. He tries to bring Mikey into the conversation and is talking to him about what's going on in the news, what they were just discussing, and Mikey doesn't give a singular fuck. So the dad's just sitting there like, you know, Mikey, this might be a good time for you to get interested in politics. There's a lot of things going on in this world, and you have been blessed enough to be born white, on the wealthier side of things. And meanwhile, Mikey's just right there like, God, I just wish someone would fucking touch it. Mikey, I'm one tight pair of boxer briefs away from cream glazing everything in its vicinity. Mikey, are you even listening to me? What? So after he gets Mikey's attention and pulls him away from fucking drooling over this seemingly to be like a yoga ad on the back of the newspaper, Mikey brushes everything off just like, I don't fucking know, dude. Anyway, I gotta go. So Mikey, in the most early 2000s way possible, is like, I'm gonna be late. I gotta go. He hops on his fucking skateboard and then he rides away. That's one of my favorite tropes to come out of the early 2000s. Every teenager in every show or movie, you could just throw on a fucking pop punk song and have them jump on a skateboard, and you know, some angsty teen rebellion going on.
All that small thing.
So we then cut to him mid-conversation, what I believe to be his girlfriend, and she's just like, explode? You think you're gonna explode because we're not doing it? Like, stop being so goddamn dramatic. And him just being a complete fucking desperate loser in this aspect, he's just like, but like, you know, everybody else is doing it and probably make us a lot cooler, you know, if we did it. And anyway, Mikey is pulling every talking point he can out of the poor me, nobody wants to touch it incel fucking handbook, and she's making a very valid point. But that message goes completely unheard. Mikey's still just trying to convince her. It comes across as the level of desperation as every guy who comments hearts under an Instagram baddie's fucking photo, because it is. But this brings up a valuable point of this story. So Mikey is suffering from what experts call the pre and post nut clarity paradox. So Mikey is frustrated that he has yet to commit some cheek clapping with any woman of any sort, which leads him to being frustrated. That frustration leads him not to think clear. All he has to do is just beat up on meat like that one character in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, but he cannot get to that conclusion because he isn't frustrated and not thinking clear. Thus, the cycle continues. So just to shut him up, Mikey's girlfriend is like, okay, I will think about this, and you know, I'm not gonna make a decision right now. Give me some time. That's a big commitment, and you're kind of fucking gross, my guy, but she's gonna think about it. So they're walking away, and she's like, you know, at least we're not as big of two losers as these two guys. And they show two goth twins that are referred to as the goth twins, or D&D. I forget what their names are. They're complete scumbags, and I'll get into why they're complete scumbags in this story, but they're not anybody you should feel sorry for. And Mikey's like, hey, you should ease up on them. They've been picked on just as much as I have, and blah 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 blah. Same fucking talking points that these guys always say. So they walk past those two losers to get to class. It turns out Hoffman and Orwell are watching from a building in the distance with some binoculars on. Not the best look, my guys, to be looking into a high school with some binoculars, being like probably in your 30s, but so they're watching over the high school with binoculars, and they're like, is that the recruit? Hell yeah, we're gonna send in this guy named Fagin. So Fagin gets introduced in a minute, but they're looking over saying, oh yep, that's the recruit right there. He doesn't even know the fucking special power he has. So we're gonna send in the recruit, we're gonna get him, and we're gonna get this shit rolling. Start some good ass fucking civil disobedience, my guy. So the stage is set. Orwell and Hoffman are watching over the school. They're gonna recruit Mikey. Mikey is being fucking weird, and they're gonna send in the character Fagin to recruit him. We cut to inside of the school where the D&D goth twins are talking about getting revenge on those who have wronged them, and they're pointing finger guns at one of the teachers, and then you see them loading up a bunch of firearms into a locker, which that's why I refer to them as scumbags. So the lame ass fucking goth losers are in the school in like a fucking back spot of it. They're like down some stairs, like in a place that no one really goes to. That's where we get introduced to our boy Fagin. It wasn't explicitly disclosed, but I believe his power is some sort of psychic thing because he uses it to roast the fuck out of people. Like, I don't even, that could be a superpower. Homie could just be like a super roaster. He just hops into like dangerous scenarios, makes you feel bad about yourself, and then you just fucking submit after that because life's not worth living, man. He had a point. So Fagin walks past the Goth twins and like bumps into them, and he's just like, "Oi, locals only."
Don't live here. Don't surf here.
I'm playing though. That I just saw the surfer. Fucking love Nicolas Cage. So Fagin looks at them and he's just like, "Oi, you ugly fucks. Your fucking hair is stupid and you have no friends." The Goth twins look at him like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And yeah, like, damn, that kind of hurt. But Fagin keeps walking. He's like, "Carry on, be fucking dumbass losers. I'm on a mission." So we then cut to the school courtyard. Now in the school courtyard, I'm not exactly sure what Mikey is doing, but he's like watching the cheerleaders rehearse their routine, and he's just counting down with the most painful look of repressed climaxing that I've ever seen. The way that they make it look is like he's just trying to willpower himself into making a huge yogurt explosion inside of the fucking school cafeteria. He's not doing anything, but he's counting down as he's watching them. So he's just sitting there with the most greasy, disturbing looking face that they could have drawn him with imaginable. And that's when Fagin shows up and he's like, "Sup, mate? Like, can I join you?"
Hey, yo!
And Mikey, rightfully so, never fucking seen this guy before. He's like, "Sure, I don't think I know you, do I?" And he's like, "Nah, probably not." It looks like Mikey's gonna start asking him like, "Yo, what the fuck is this all about?" That's when a stereotypical early 2000s school bully comes and walks past. So the school bully comes and walks past and interrupts everything. And he's like, "Fucking move your leg, you stupid nerd." And Mikey doesn't even provoke him. He just fucking moves his scrawny punk ass leg, as the bully referred to it as. And still he fucking hoists him up in the classic, "I'm gonna pound you" pause fucking bully stance that you would see, where they just grab the collar and they're just like,
You fucking want one?
And so before Mikey gets completely pummeled by this guy, side note, I know the younger generation is bringing back a lot of stuff from that time period. A lot of, fashions making a comeback. I'm seeing a lot of Jinko jeans running around and a lot of oversized t-shirts with early 2000s media and artists and shit on there. One thing that you guys shouldn't bring back is homie's fucking haircut. The school bully has the worst haircut to come out of that time frame imaginable. Homie looks like a testicle that got a fake eyelash stuck on it. Don't bring that shit back, man. So anyway, before Mikey can get completely pummeled by the fucking school bully, Fagin steps in and he's like, "How about you put my friend down?" And, they're not friends, but he fucking sticks up for the guy. You gotta hand it to him. So the school bully's like, "The fuck is this Australian fuck telling me what to do?" This is another reason why I have the theory that Fagin has some sort of like psychic powers. He starts going on a rant. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Australian, just like Russell Crowe. We all know you have dirty little thoughts about Russell Crowe, wet dreaming over him in his gladiator outfit, don't you?" Like I said, professional roaster. If his power isn't super roasting, I'm done. I don't think I could read anymore, because that's what he does. That's what he does best. Get this man in a battle rap ring right now.
You can't spell draw without putting that roll in it. If you heard I fucked your wife, I probably went roll in it.
Anyway, the bully's like, "Whatever, dude. This is stupid. I'm not gay, I swear." And he walks away. So the bully's gone, and Mikey's like, "Hey, man, thanks for, saving my ass back there." And then Fagin's like, "Man, fuck this school shit. Let's get out of here." Mikey looks confused, but he just instantly agrees, which, I don't know, maybe if I was about to get my ass kicked in high school and somebody saved me, I would look like a bitch either way. So fuck it, might as well ditch at that point, my guy. So they're about to leave the school, but before they head off campus, Mikey's like, "Hold on one second." And he runs up to his girlfriend and he's like, "So like, you thought about us fucking yet or what?" To which she replies, "Yeah, I thought about it." So like, "What you think?" "Well, I still need to fucking think about it." And that's when she walks away, because, she obviously doesn't want to fuck him. And Fagin points that out. He's like, "Man, you're not going to get any action from her. She's an ice queen." Now, with this being a mutant universe, if she doesn't turn out to actually have some sort of fucking ice powers, that is a huge airball. Could have just froze Mikey's genitalia and then just fucking kicked it into pieces, which would be hilarious and what he kind of deserves, but we'll see what happens, maybe. So they're set to get off campus. They're walking away. Orwell and Hoffman are still watching Mikey and Fagin, and they're like, damn, Fagin's moving fast. We about to get this guy on the hook, and he's gonna join the Brotherhood real quick. So we cut to a diner. Mikey and Fagin are just sitting down talking, having a meal. They're not really talking though, because Mikey's like, hey man, can I fucking ask who you are? And Fagin's like, nah, not really. I'm full though. You wanna go? Mikey kind of being like a socially inept outcast, he's just, all right, man, let's go. I'll pay. Did you bring any money? I got enough money for my stuff. I don't think I had enough money to cover both. Fagin's like, money? The fuck are you talking about?
Snatch and run! Ah!
We're gonna dine and dash, pussy. So they take off running, and Mikey's looking like he's about to shit himself because he's scared shitless. He's probably never done anything like that. So they're running away from the diner. They got one of the diner ladies chasing them, and she looks like she's about to run Mikey that fade. So Fagin's like, yo, you gotta step this shit up, my guy. We need to get the fuck out of here. So they eventually escape, and Mikey's like, man, why'd you do that? Like, I had money, like we could have paid for it. And that's when Fagin goes on this kind of stupid tangent. He's like, man, fuck your money. What did that lady ever do for you? She don't give a fuck if you eat or not. She don't give a fuck if you got money. She don't give a fuck about your life. Like, real ignorant ass tangent right there. Fagin is ignorant as fuck, my guys, but he tries to paint it as he's super smart and like coming up with these like profound concepts of like, we live in a society type shit. So Fagin's just going on about like, you don't owe anybody anything in this world, and you can do what you want, take what you want, and it's all about yourself pretty much. So he's going on with his little spiel of being fake deep and, oh, nobody cares about anything. They just, everybody's out for themselves. Think about how arbitrary money is. That's like a first talking point any fake deep guy gets, is they're just like, you ever think about how like made up money is? Like, we just accept it, dude, and like we really don't have to. A man made money and we're men. But
did the man who invented college go to college?
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that?
But the biggest part is he tells Mikey it's people like her and everybody else that want to keep people like them down. Mikey's like, people like us? I ain't fucking Australian. What the fuck are you talking about, man? But before Fagin answers anything, because he doesn't ever answer a fucking question that Mikey has. He just interrupts everything. But this one's kind of justified. They hear some screaming, and he's like, oh, we gotta head over. You gotta see this. We gotta take care of this. And Mikey's confused as shit, but of course he's gonna follow this guy. He saved him from an ass kicking. He's taking Mikey on an adventure when he could just be in class fucking studying history and just looking at pictures of Susan B. Anthony like, I just need someone to touch it. I just wish someone would fucking touch it. So they run over to see what the commotion is about, and it turns out there's actually a mutant getting jumped by some of the fucking normie ass regular humans just because he's a mutant. So the mutant's on the ground begging for them to stop. Please don't fucking keep assaulting me right now. And they're just like, shut up, you fucking mutant, dirty fucking whatever. So Mikey and Fagin are watching this in the distance, and Fagin tells him like, you see that? Just because he's different, just because he's a mutant, he gets assaulted, he gets harassed, and he can't live in peace. And that's the type of shit that I don't stand for. We're gonna fight against that because I'm a mutant. You know what, Mikey? You're a fucking mutant too. So Mikey's still confused, and he's just dumbfounded about everything. I'm not sure fucking Mikey with his undeveloped hormonal teenage brain fully grasp anything going on, because he's like, what? The stereotypical, what, dude? But Fagin doesn't even acknowledge really that Mikey's confusion or anything. He just springs into action. He starts swinging on people. He punches and kicks simultaneously. The dopest shit that I've seen in this comic book so far. So he's going at it. He's protecting the mutant. He's going at this group of aggressors, and he's doing his best. He's holding them off pretty good. And Mikey's bitching up, just kind of watching everything. Now I get he's young, he's not probably experienced to, duking it out on the street and shit, but dog had his back when the bully was gonna just completely wreck Mikey's face and send him to the fucking school nurse. Like, ride for your fucking boy, my guy. Like, I just met you, but you saved me from an ass kicking. I got you. The group of aggressors end up getting the upper hand on Fagin. They fucking hit him with something in the back of the head. He falls, and then they're like all going after Mikey, and he's still bitching up, looking like he's about to soil himself, and he's not ready for the smoke. My guy is scared as fuck. So it looks like Mikey's about to get stomped right the fuck out But that's when Hoffman swoops down from the rooftops, and he's no longer watching like people who use that special chair in a hotel room. So Hoffman swoops down, uses his mind control powers to subdue the crowd, and he's putting thoughts into their heads like, yo, why are we even angry? Why are we trying to attack this greasy looking horny bastard? Everything's cool, man. We're all good. So then he scoops up Fagin. He's talking to Mikey. Mikey's like still obviously confused that he's a fucking mutant. Hoffman's like, look, man, I know it's scary and I know you can feel alone, but trust me, you're not. We've all been there. And you have a safe place here with us, Mikey. Mikey finally has a sense of belonging that he's been searching for because he doesn't fit in at school. He's kind of an outcast there. His dad's just a overcompensating for his lack of manhood ass douchebag. Mikey can't seal the deal, gets no play, so he doesn't even have that going for him. So Hoffman gets Fagin up and he tells him, hey, throw these guys that letter that I told you about. And he throws them a letter and he's, comforting Mikey. So he has this sense of belonging, and that's when Hoffman's like, but we gonna blow these motherfuckers up. Fuck them. Hoffman tells Mikey like, hey, this ain't just no fucking after school club, my guy. Like, we're about to start standing up for mutants and their rights and shit. Like, we're tired of being oppressed and we're tired of being beaten up like this. Are you still in or what? And Mikey, he looks scared as shit. Mikey has like two emotions. He's either so fucking horny that a slight breeze is gonna make him climax, or he's just scared as shit. It's just scared and confused. But anyway, he like reluctantly agrees. He's like, all right, cool. I guess I'm in, man. Like, I don't got anything else going on. I don't get no bitches. I don't have friends. My dad hates me. Might as well join the revolution, bro. So they're walking away. So the group that Hoffman actually had mind control over and Fagin threw the letter to, they open up the letter and it says, revolution, not evolution, bitch. And so they read that and they're like, what the fuck is this? That's when Oswald, the mutant from the beginning, swoops down, blows them the fuck up too, because Oswald, he's actually gonna explode. Mikey, still not sure what he's referring to, what his power is or anything. Extreme horniness. Homie's just super down bad. Maybe the dumbest fucking character, just like super down bad. His powers just include extreme rejection and knowledge of every OnlyFans content to go up and when it goes up. So Oswald explodes the group of people that were jumping the mutants. So Mikey's once again scared as shit because, Oswald just blew up a whole group of people. But that's when Hoffman tells him like, hey man, everything's gonna be okay. This world is broken and sick and people like us are constantly persecuted and attacked. But we will overcome this, Mikey. We have a brotherhood. We are one, and we're gonna ride for you, ride or die. And he ends his monologue, and the issue also ends with him telling Mikey he's in for the ride of his life. So that ends issue 1 of the Brotherhood. The only issue that I've read, I haven't read the other 8, and I'm hoping to. I'll probably end up copying them on my own time. If you watching this actually want me to talk about this series, go ahead and fucking leave me a comment and tell me that you want some more of this fucking American Pie ass story. I did a lot of clowning on the main character, but my final thoughts on everything is, what else are you gonna expect from shit from the early 2000s? It's not to justify anybody's fucking behavior in it. It's not to justify how the world is portrayed, but it's a timepiece. That's how things were back then. As far as the comic goes, it wasn't the most action-packed. It had one explosion at the beginning, one explosion at the end, and that's kind of as far as action goes, minus the ass kicking that Fagin was laying down before they fucking sneak attacked him, domed him with like a bat or whatever. But I enjoyed reading it. I am an easy to please person, and this gave me some solid laughs. The story was kind of all over the place, but I think it did enough of a job of keeping a small mind like mine just interested enough to go through the entire issue and to make a video about it. It brought me some enjoyment. So I hope you liked the video. I hope that you're entertained by an idiot rambling about these comics. That's going to be the end of the video. Like I always say, keep the vibes up, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.